You just tuned it in.
Global and worldwide.
Hitting you on the one with no delay. Because it's the Fighter's Voice.
The Fighter's Voice.
With your fighting host, Richard Ortiz.
And the formidable co-host,
Mr. Cole Escovedo. Remember, every fighter has a voice.
Fresno, California, we're back and we're live here at Mad Production Studios. You know what? It feels good to be back. You know, I was in the hospital. I was laid up. I had emergency surgery, but you know what? I knocked that out. I'm not even supposed to be here. But you know what? How do you tell a person you cannot do what you love? You do what you love, you never work a day in your life. Especially today's guest. I did not want to cancel. I did not want to put on hold. I wanted to take the name. I wanted to make it grow. You know, just like a plant, how you water it, Cole Escovedo, and it grows and it prospers. And that root, it just grows and it becomes a straight, strong foundation. Yeah. That's our guest today, man. I mean, he needs no introduction. I got some stuff I'm going to let people even know that. Cole, I got some pictures of him. The dude was a badass. He either fought in UFC or boxing. He did something, man, because I was, you know, our research team showed me some pictures today, man. It was just like, man, we got to post this. We got to put this dude on a poster, man. Put him inside a ring or a cage. Ladies and gentlemen, my UFC co-host with the most, UFC veteran, the Apache Kid, Cole Escovedo, and our guest needs no introduction. The man, the myth, the legend. You keep saying it, man. He keeps continuing to blow up. When I mean blow up, that means prosper. That's that root that's growing that foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, former chief of Fresno, California, now candidate for mayor of Fresno, California. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jerry Dyer. Welcome to the show, my man.
Rich, thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, man.
Thank you, Cole.
It's a pleasure.
You.
Appreciate you spending your time with us.
It's a pleasure, man. You were asking me, I had surgery, man, emergency surgery on Saturday. I didn't even get to see the fights that day live of Andy Reese. You know, I didn't miss anything, but yeah, and it almost took me out, but I'm here.
What kind of surgery?
An ulcer, man. It just exploded all over my body, all the way up my arm and what have you. Yeah, major surgery, man.
You're too young for an ulcer, man.
Yeah, I know.
You got to run for mayor. I'll show you what an ulcer is.
Yeah, hey, man. Hey, yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, trying to get these sponsors are causing an ulcer, man. And when Cole Escovedo don't return my call, because I need the pics so I can post them, he'll give you an ulcer or these red lights getting over here. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for being late. I'm keeping it real, man. I mean, you know, it's Christmas time. Everybody's in a hurry, and everybody wants to take their time and listen to Christmas music. I get it. Rather safe than sorry, but we got to be here at the show and make this happen.
Yeah, Fresno traffic's a pain, dude.
It is a pain, Cole.
It's a major, and there's really like.
But we have the man here with us that knows everything about traffic and traffic control.
Christmas time.
Christmas.
It's always like, can you imagine if we didn't have online purchases through?
Oh God, and you were
it
forced.
would be
man.
worse.
Yeah, that's
Christmas
true.
time.
You know, I hate to say that, like online shopping is kind of commercialized every single holiday, which it's convenience, but yeah, that's actually a positive at it because you'd have just bumper to bumper. Yeah. It'd be ridiculous.
We got bumper to bumper anyway in this city.
Yes, we do. But you know what? It's fun because I shop online too, and I make believe. I just fill my cart for the hell of it, and then I delete it at the end. And I'm going, man, I really want those though. You know what I mean? I mean, it's okay to do. You know, like a little kid.
A set limit that you're going to work it down to and go. When I hit this number, I can keep going. And then come back and grab some other stuff from the deleted file.
Well, yeah, you can do that. Jerry, when I was small, my mom would say, okay, put a check next to everything you wanted. And I asked for the pen and
Toys
stuff.
R Us booklets?
Oh, yeah, all those booklets. JCPenney back in the day. Shoot, man. Walmart, Kmart.
That's how you did your Christmas shopping.
Well, that's where I do it now, too, man. I still do it. I still do it. And don't you hate when you're shopping, you find exactly what you want, and it's your size, and it's your price, but you're shopping for somebody else? That always happens, man.
You know, like when you buy your wife a bowling ball with like your name on it or something. You're like, dude, honey, I don't know why this isn't your size. I don't know.
A bowling ball.
Right.
Do you bowl at all?
I don't. I used to. I bowled a little bit, but I wasn't that good. You know, so my wife bowled a little bit. She when she was working, she had was part of a bowling team, and I'd go with her. But I'm not that good at bowling.
No.
I played a lot of other sports, but I never.
Yeah. What did you play?
Bowled.
What did you do?
Played baseball, football, basketball in high school.
What number did you wear?
Well, I wore 86,
Okay.
and then I later on played in some football games, Pig Bowl games. I wore number 33 then, but played a little, mostly linebacker. Played a little bit of running back, fullback, and then tight end.
Damn.
I enjoyed it, man.
Damn. Did you ever get in the ring of the cage?
No, thank God.
Pull that picture up right now, man.
Wait a minute, you got me in a ring?
Oh no, I'm thinking, my gosh, there's some picture,
boxing?
and I'm going, Okay, you need to find this.
Was he
thing.
doing some boxing? Is he
Bro, we
sandbagging?
need to sign him up for something here. I mean, serious. Just looks alone right there. I was like, what the heck?
Well, you've had to have competed at least once or twice in the badge events.
Yeah, you know what? I go to the Battle of the Badges
Yeah.
fight. They didn't have them back then when I was. They had the Police Olympic Summer Games where they'd have boxing and stuff. I did some powerlifting back then, and I played fast pitch softball. I was a pitcher, so I competed that. But like I said, when I grew up, I was telling Cole before the show, I'm glad that MMA wasn't around when I was young because I'd probably be dead by now. You know?
Hey, but that would have been right up your alley, right? Just wanting to compete.
Yeah. My ego wouldn't let me tap out, though.
See, that's what we were saying. And back then,
it's
it was
one of
just,
those, huh?
you got to be a stickler for some things.
You got to be smart enough to tap out once in a while.
Yeah, what does that mean sometimes? You know what I mean?
Dude, I don't know. I've always been by the philosophy of fear losing more than the consequence of winning. You know, like if they came backstage and said, dude, you're going to win, but he's going to break your arm.
I don't really
All right,
need
so my
it
left
today.
arm, is that cool?
I'd rather win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
take my left
exactly.
arm.
I'd rather win.
Take my left arm.
I mean,
There's some honor in that.
Holf Gracie, dude got his arm broken one day, knocked a dude out by just swinging his arm at him. It was back in like extreme fighting.
That
like
is
14
extreme.
or something. Yeah, just clubbed it, just made a fist and just swung
The
his
broken arm?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
man.
Holf was a different kind of animal back then, like way different animal.
Who's the big guy who wouldn't tap the heavyweight? Frank Mir tapped him. He
and
just took the break.
Frank Mir snapped his forearm. No, yeah, Frank Mir snapped Tim Sylvia's forearm.
Yeah, Tim
Sylvia.
Tim Sylvia just kind of took it, like, you know.
Well, yeah, you could see it, and then you could see
Yeah.
Herb Dean's face. He was like, as soon as you see that bump come up in his forearm, you hear like, "Ooh,"
Yeah,
because that's when you know. Like,
and he just took it. Man,
I've got fights where the dude's my elbow's going the wrong way.
Adrenaline kicks in.
Yeah, adrenaline,
Pride.
stubborn pride, or you just think you're just strong enough to hold on, and you're thinking he's going to tire out before you do and let go, and you can get out. Yeah, pride's not your amigo, I guess, or your ego's not your amigo. Like sometimes you got to go. I mean, but if he breaks, it breaks.
You
I mean,
you do got to go.
UFC will pay for it. I mean,
Oh man, I want no one paying for my broken arm, man. I mean, I still need it. You know, I want to win too. Seriously, I do want to win. I don't like to lose. I always kind of, hash it out. I won't make an excuse. I'll say I either ran out of time or that's not what I said. I said this.
Yeah.
So, speaking of that, Chris Lewis, I owe you a steak, my man. I know. I texted you. I inboxed you. I said we'll get together next week. Let everything calm down. But I'm not going to that place that you suggested. We're going to Ricardo's, man.
I wouldn't even say it.
Richards. Yeah, I don't know what you said. Fleming's.
Fleming's.
I go, no, hey, you crazy, man? No way. No. But I do owe the man a steak. We're gonna sit down and get some
Chris
lunch.
can eat. So no matter where you
Yeah.
take,
He can eat.
You better bring a wallet.
He can eat. He can. But
He's a
the
stud.
bet the bet was a steak. We bet a steak on the Patriots Cowboy game.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Cole
Now
kept pushing
find
me.
a fun place. Like it doesn't have to be expensive. Like
Yeah.
find a fun local
Yeah, we
place
didn't go
that
on
has
video.
steak on the menu.
Yeah.
But there's like it's a nice like soul food restaurant or something,
Yeah.
or they do like good burgers and stuff. So the steak's probably good too. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be like sirloin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some nice spots like that.
Yeah, we'll find a good
But
place.
he
Yeah.
probably wants a steak.
Yeah, no, he does want a steak. No, he's a good athlete, nice guy.
You know his
and,
brother,
like a
Donovan?
general. Yeah, Donovan too. They're big boys.
That guy's a beast when he gets in the ring. You seen him box?
Yeah.
See, this is the encyclopedia I was telling you about.
Donovan, he's a beast. He fought a guy in the Battle of the Badges, a guy out of Kern County.
Yeah.
Monster. This guy was about 6'3", 290 pounds, 300 pounds, and quick. And Donovan beat him. And so Donovan's a tough kid.
No, he is. Out of the two, and no disrespect to the other, I like Donovan's footwork over his brothers as far as standing up boxing and his defense, the way he rolls his punches instead of just kind of crouching down a little bit. But to each their own, they each both got their own strength.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. They do.
And I wouldn't want to get in the ring with either one of them.
No,
Right?
I'll pass on that.
I'm good.
I'll pass on that.
I mean,
Well,
there's
their
a price
dad-
check on everything.
Their dad used to be a police officer too. Donovan and Chris's dad, Jim.
Yeah, I heard the
James
stories that he
Lewis.
competed too.
James was we played in the Pig Bowl together. James is the one that used to run around linebacker saying "Be the hammer, not the nail."
Oh, wow.
So that's where the Lewis kids got that from. Their dad.
Okay, there you go. Yes, I met the dad at the weigh-in, at the Combate Americas weigh-in, where his brother was weighing in for the fight. And I got to meet his dad, his mom. The whole family was very nice,
Yeah,
very
good people.
soft-spoken. Yeah,
Lewis family.
very nice people, very respectful. And, I look forward to sitting around them and enjoying some time with them because, they invited me over to make some cookies, man, and his brother saying, we ain't making cookies, we're making steak. So yeah, definitely, we're going to take care of that steak. I inboxed him, I was getting better, and I am getting better. I'm getting stronger, and every day goes by, man.
for you.
But, that's what went down, Cole.
Speaking of taking steak, what happened to Ruiz?
Oh, my gosh. You know what? I had, and I was going to mix
Like, he
this
was
in, and
big.
I was going to mix this in because we're going to talk definitely about Jerry Dyer running for mayor. We're definitely going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about. I don't know if you explained to him our capacity, the people that come on our show, the winning streak, that people that come on our show. Andy Reese came on the show before he won the bout, and he had just come off a victory. We had said, look. We basically prophesied and said, look, you're going to get that call, you're going to get that opportunity, because he was just another face in the crowd. And then it started getting closer and closer. Long story short, he got that opportunity, gave us a big shout out, won the fight. But this second time around, my man, he took us all on a roller coaster ride. He really did. How can you say at the press conference, I was not motivated for this fight? You're talking about the fight of the century, the biggest fight of your life, of your career, which if you put yourself in a nice position, you can do it all over again and win again. I can't buy that one.
I mean, two things when I see the fight and I see it, remember two things, people are like, oh, but he went to a decision. Well, no, what happened was Joshua made sure it went to a decision by implementing a specific game plan.
Absolutely.
Be on your bike, be a moving target.
And that's all you need.
So I can see not being as motivated for a belt defense as you were to get the belt. And so many champions fall into that category of, oh, I got there. Oh, crap, now what? Like, defending your belt, with some guys it's just with their shield or on it kind of thing. But some guys, when they get to that pinnacle, something changes. They're just not as hungry. They've achieved it.
They lose the eye of the tiger. They lose that internal motivation, I think.
And you know what? You said exactly. And I spot little things. And at the weigh-in, even the look was different the second time around compared to the first time. The first time, he wasn't bowing down to nobody. I mean, the only one he would have bowed down was Jesus Christ. But he was looking straight the man. He was looking right through him. The second one, he was just kind of just looking at you. Like, the check's in the mail already. I am who I am. And I was very disappointed. I am an Andy Reese fan. At this point, I don't want to see the third one again. I'd like to see him shred down, which means even if he didn't shred down, it just tells me he takes his career very serious if he does, and then like to see him fight a top 5 guy and then move in.
He said something about the extra weight was a mistake or it didn't work to his advantage.
That was a huge mistake.
Which I don't know if somebody... Because, again, here's the thing. There's lots of things that you see, like, you're guaranteed $10 million. What's wrong with putting on a little weight? You don't have to take it that seriously. Like, these guaranteed income things where it's like versus MMA, it's like, sure, dude, you're going to get like 20 grand.
Okay.
You want to win 40?
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's always that motivation. So I could see where it was like the check was already guaranteed.
That's Team Reese. Just like you got your team. You got your campaign team. Everybody has a job to do in that team. I have a job to do in that team. I have to look out for you and make sure you're doing every single thing that needs to be done. Now, we live in an industry, Triple G, he got this big contract, fired his trainer, fired his manager, so to speak.
Oh, really?
The Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, just yesterday, tired his manager.
I saw that.
Now, if you speak up too much, you're going to fall into that category. And no offense to Manny Robles. He's a great trainer / manager. He looks out for him, but at the same time, it's like Tyson had in his career, had a bunch of yes men. And I'm not saying that's the case. I can only tell you so much what to do. You're a full-grown man. I don't want to push too hard because I don't want to lose my job and my position and my security, so to speak. I'm not saying that's what happened, but it falls in that category. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, that's a difference between somebody who's coachable and somebody who's not. I think you see, Cole, some of the best fighters ever are the ones that gave permission to their corner to tell them things they didn't want to hear.
Yeah.
And I think that's no matter where we're at in life, if you're willing to listen, you give permission to those people that you surround yourself with to tell you the things you don't want to hear. You're going to be successful.
And that's that respect. That's that growth. Because you're going to respect that person. Because it's that different voice where everybody's agreeing to you, and you know yourself. You know if you can really put out or not, or you're really there. And someone says, "Nah, man, there's something wrong. I know there's something wrong." Like we talked about, you're going to listen to that voice because he knows. He just hit the bullseye, and you're going to respect that person later on.
Yeah, you can't be you can't believe your own press sometimes.
No, you
that's
can't.
That's another thing too.
Yeah.
There's that variable that maybe, and I'm not saying he did because I've seen interviews with him, and he never really struck me as the kind of guy that was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." No, he struck me as the guy of, we worked our ass off. This was a team thing. I did my job. So I don't think he really bought into too much of that whole, oh, dude, you're going to mess him up again. Blah, blah. It's like, well, they both dropped each other. I mean, it wasn't a just one-sided fight, so he has some risks there. But I don't know. I mean, $10 million's $10 million.
You know what? You hit
like
it.
even if you don't, like if they had said, oh, if you lose, you get only $5. Okay, well, that's a $5 million motivator right there. So all these flat rates in boxing that you see all the time, like you give Canelo $350 million.
Guarantees.
What?
Yeah.
It guarantees, but that may be the one time he decides, I just don't care.
But he hasn't. He's really put
He
his
constantly shows up every time.
Exactly.
Well, because $350 million becomes $500 million, then it becomes $700 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they keep giving him those numbers, but with things like ESPN Plus, like where's that going to start capping? Like there's going to be a financial cap because somebody ESPN's going to start going, no. We're capping at like $500 million. That's our price.
Because they want to keep that motivation. They want to make sure everybody's driven, everybody's giving the fans some entertainment and giving exactly what I paid for.
So you think with those big numbers,
absolutely,
it will be that motivator?
Hey, man, I fell in love with his speech the very first time when he said, "Mom, we don't ever got to struggle again." But after this time, I would have rather kept quiet rather than say I was drinking Coronas and I was drinking and I was eating with all my friends. And I wasn't this motivated. He said it. I didn't say it.
No, yeah.
He said those words, and that's hard to swallow when you got people. He visited Mexico, man. He had people visiting their, betting their property, everything on there. You got to remember, he went straight to Mexico after he won that fight. So he had all those believers, all those supporters, and then what do you tell them? They're not going to fall for I drank too many Coronas. And he did say that.
Diaz. Pulling the gears, man. I bet my rep money on you.
Oh,
I got you, stupid. Like that's basically what it's like.
Dude, no, that's not what he said, but yeah, because I got you, man.
He's like, I got you. Like, why would you bet your rent money?
I got you. Talking about motivation, man. What motivates you early in the morning when you start your day? Let's move it back. Let's move it back like 5 years ago. You're in your prime. You're chief. You have that responsibility. You're almost a modern day, honestly, like Superman, like Captain America, because you're responsible for all these superheroes that are out there, all these different chiefs, all these different people around. You're responsible for that. What motivates you?
Hey, what motivates me is a passion for, number one, when I was in law enforcement, for the profession, and two, I have a passion for the city, the neighborhoods. And, there's a lot of people that live in neighborhoods that really depend on the police department to keep them safe. They depend on a police chief to lead those individual officers in a direction that's going to keep them safe. And when you get in the ring and you box, you depend on certain people. In your corner. And when you're in a neighborhood, especially inner city neighborhoods, some of these neighborhoods of color, you depend on those police officers to keep you safe, to protect you, so that your kids can go out in the front yard and play, so your kids can walk down the street without getting shot in a drive-by. So that's what motivated me, was protecting kids, and it still does to a sense. I no longer wear the uniform, but I still have a deep passion for this city. I love this city. I love the neighborhoods. I love the people in the neighborhoods, especially some of those kids that they grew up disadvantaged. They grew up in single-parent, no-parent families. And, we've seen them out there. They really don't, in many cases, they don't have a chance. And their hope is not good unless somebody comes into their life and gives them an opportunity to be successful. And, that's part of, what we do in law enforcement. We want to not just keep people safe, but, be a mentor, be a coach to these kids. That's why we have our police activities program heavy into boxing. I don't know if you know that. We have about 40, 50 kids.
The PAL program?
The PAL program coming to our Romaine playground. Now we have one over in West Fresno at the Hinton Center. We have boxing rings, boxing programs. So, we got some guys that have gone professional. And just to be there for them. Other than that, those kids, they take the wrong turn in life. They ultimately end up in prison. So that's what motivates me every day is this community.
Make that impact, that communication. I work at the school district. I work with kids too, and I used to work at the high school level. Now I'm down to the kindergarten to the sixth graders, and I embraced it because, man, I taught a kid how to tie a shoe. I mean, just basics. We can still make a difference, and I said in my job, I'm going to continue to do it till I can't do it anymore. I don't want to just say, okay, well, I'm here, I got 5 more years. No, I want to make sure that I'm productive every single day. I want to continue to do it.
Yeah, you want to get every day out of those
It's the
next 5 years.
best job in the world. You get paid to work with kids, man, and do what you love. I mean, and to make that difference. I really mean it, that I said it's the best job in the world.
They're purpose jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
That some people are okay with 9 to 5s. Some people they require a little more out of their job. It's like, you got to really like what you're doing. Like, paychecks are great. Like, if I can get a job that paid my bills and allowed me to still do like the school job, I'd be set.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's easy at that point.
Happiness is always a good thing too.
Exactly. You got the job that actually matters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The purpose job for some people is just more important than that 9 to 5, 40-hour a week, 35 a year type job. Like it's just priorities. Like what gets you up in the morning.
Yeah. Some people make a lot of money in their career, their profession. Other people make a big difference. And,
there you go.
I think I want to be significant more than I want to be, have a lot of money. So.
Yeah, and exactly. I agree with you, man, because it's you remember you look at you see yourself before anybody else in the morning when you're brushing your teeth, and you got to be happy and satisfied with what you see, because only we know what we did or what we stepped on or what we didn't do or what we could have done better or the mistakes that we made, and we all make mistakes. We all hit speed bumps, man.
Yeah, it's like I told Jose Ramirez once. I said, you're going to be remembered more not for what you did in the ring, but what you did outside of the ring. And
doing a great job, man.
How
He's
you
doing a
impact
great
the lives
job.
of people. And this
Yes,
kid,
he has.
Jose Ramirez, is a real deal, not only in the ring but in real life. And he's making a difference in the lives of kids. He's every time he fights for a cause.
Yeah.
Whether it's water or cancer or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But we need more of those individuals in the professional sporting, whether it's MMA, boxing, basketball, whatever. We need more of those Jose Ramirez out there.
I agree with you, man. And you know what? He continues to make. He just signed a multi-year deal with Top Rank, ESPN.
Yeah, I saw that.
Of course, he's still back with Rick Morigian. The man never sleeps. I said he's a shark out of water, which is a good thing. He attacks every opportunity there. That's what he is, constantly on the attack.
Dude, that's
like sharks in the water.
Perfect example.
Sharks in the water attack if you're bleeding or they're prey, they're hungry. He attacks every single living, breathing opportunity out there. He is going to attack it.
Sharks only attack what's in the water.
Hey, man.
That's all that all they'll attack is what comes near him. Rick's just like, hey, there's a lion on the beach. I wonder what lion tastes like. Like that's Rick, right?
Yeah,
He'll say, I can hold my breath long enough to kill that lion. I'm going to go get it. So
it is.
It's a good analogy.
I've known Rick
out of
a
water.
long time, man, and he's somebody you can't say no to. I mean, maybe you can once or twice, but eventually you're going to say yes to him. And everything he touches right now is turning to gold.
Well, I want him to touch the Fighter's Voice Knockout podcast, and I also want him to touch the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass podcast. That's one entity. The Fighter's Voice, 2 different shows, 2 different types of shows for your family and for your friends in the garage. There it is there.
So Rick's not been on the Rick. You haven't had Rick on the show.
No,
yet?
he hasn't been on the show.
I'm going to talk to Rick.
He's a busy guy.
I'll get Rick on.
No. Hold on a second. Jose Ramirez was a busy guy.
He's
He
a busy
came
guy.
in. He came in
He's
all
a
the
busy
time.
guy.
Andy Reese is a busy guy. He came on the Fighter's Voice Knockout podcast, okay? Shelly Swanson is a very busy person, the PR person for Floyd Money Mayweather.
that's
she
true.
came on the show, right? She came on the
That's
show.
hard to counter that. That's hard to counter
Everybody
that.
is busy. Candidate of mayor of Fresno. Former
I'm busy.
chief
Yeah,
is a very
okay.
busy person. He walked in the studios. We had Hall of Famer Lee Samuels from Top Rank Boxing come inside studio. The list goes on.
Rick, I'm trying, bro, but you're running out of excuses.
Rick.
I'm trying.
Rick, get on the
here.
show, man. Bail me out.
There you go. Rick, get here. Let's get the Fighter's Voice. Let's manage it. Let's take it to the next level. I trust you. You trust me. And let's make it happen. Let's smile together. So I'm pitching it out there. If you don't ask, you don't receive, man.
That's true.
is
That's 100% true. He can't say no.
Can you imagine if
don't
he got
ask.
the show? Can you imagine if he said, Richard, I want to manage the Fighter's Voice? Where do you think it's going? Global, baby. Global. We're going to have a Fighter's Voice in China. We're going to have a Fighter's Voice in Las Vegas. We're going to have a Fighter's Voice in Philadelphia, in New York, everywhere. There's going to be a whole team
Satellite
just like
spots
us.
would be nice.
It's our logo. It's our trademark. It's our entity, worldwide, global.
Satellite spots is
And
a nice
when we
idea.
do go live on TV, our first guest is right here. We're already going to book them right here. Boom.
You better get Jose Ramirez.
Oh, we'll get Jose. No, we're going to have the
whole
A
list?
team on there, a
All
whole
right, all right.
list.
I'll be there.
Yes, exactly. You guys heard it only on the Fighter's Voice and knocking out the competition.
So I'd have to ask, so without asking about any specifics from your time as chief or anything like that, do you find it logistically harder to run the city from that standpoint versus how you're seeing what the job will entail as far as running the city from a much more expanded,
Right.
I don't want to say hands and pies, but it's like there's more pies now that you have to be involved in. Like there's more things that now you have to be involved in.
Yeah, it's so when you're the police chief, you're responsible for the police department, 1,100 employees. When you become the mayor, you're responsible for 3,700 employees, and all the different roles and functions that the mayor's office is responsible for, the city government, city services. providing water and trash and sewer and the Parks and Rec, plus the police department, fire department. All of those things are critical to the people that live in our city.
Real oversight position now.
The difference is that as a police chief, you know, the emergency services aspect of it is 24/7. You're out there at 2, 3, and 4 in the morning, and you know there's no shortage of scrutiny and sometimes criticism of law enforcement. So you're constantly dealing with those issues, and I think the thing that was most difficult for me as a police chief is the expectations of a community was up here in terms of what they wanted the police department to provide.
What you could actually deliver.
What we could deliver was right here based on our budget, and so that's holds true with the mayor's office as well.
Yeah,
So
you're going to have things that the city's going to want that you're like, look, guys, something's going to go up here, but it's got to cost. Something's going to suffer. Like there's only so much money.
Yeah, so I'm learning a lot in the process about a number of things that are important: land use, development, all those things that you know they seem boring, and they're really things that I've kind of only been on the periphery in the past. Now I'm having to dive into those things deeper so I can have a better
because you have to have like 5, 10, et cetera year plans for where areas are going to develop, how you plan for the development changes coming along. Like, well, we need to start infrastructuring that now because in like 5 years, that housing development that they wanted to build is going to go in there. So that means we're going to get stuff here.
Yeah, you got to have a vision.
What's the most interesting thing that you found out as mayor you'd be responsible for and went, oh, I'd have never thought that was going to be my part of my job?
Well, you know, fortunately, I've been in I was in the police department for 40 years, 18 as a chief, so I was pretty familiar with all the things going on in city government, been a part of it. But there are I would say the complexities of the issues. And when you think you got the answer, you know, like you're sitting on the sideline, right? And you think, man, why don't they do that in city government? But when you're on the inside and you understand the ramifications of going in a certain direction, then you're better able to make decisions. Unfortunately, some folks on the outside, you know, outside of City Hall or outside of government, they don't understand that. You know, it's the same in a sporting event, right? You got a fan that's saying, I don't understand why that
why
coach would call that play
or whatever,
or why that they would have him do that in the ring, or why isn't he doing this or that? Why is he fighting southpaw? And you know, so. But it's a strategy, right? And until you know the complexity, you don't understand the strategy.
Yeah, you got you're going to have 3 perspectives. You're going to have the perspective of the fan, you're going to have the perspective of the coach on the sidelines, and then you're going to have the guy
That Monday
behind
night
the quarterback.
too.
Yeah, and then you're going to have the guy on the field that keeps seeing them stack up on the left. The coach keeps wondering, why do you keep running an audible? Well, they keep stacking on the left, boss. We keep getting an opening to the right. And then you got the fan going, why do they keep running it, dude? They're getting
well, you heard it in the Crawford fight. Why did he fight southpaw so long?
Yeah.
You know, so why
I
didn't
saw
he
that.
switch over sooner?
Then he went conventional. And when you're fighting a southpaw, he's acceptable to a right-hand lead. And he took it. He took one on the chin. And they make this big deal if he went down or he didn't. Who cares? That's part of boxing. Muhammad Ali went down. It's how he finished the race. And he finished very successful, let his hands go, and once again, looked pound for pound. What did you think about that fight?
Man, I mean, Crawford's a real deal. You know, I think, you know, I kept listening to people analyze the fight, you know, the ringside folks, and they were talking about how
Timothy Bradley went off.
Oh gosh, how Crawford shouldn't be doing this. He ought to be keeping his distance. He shouldn't be mixing it up with the guy. But the difference is, I think when you're in the ring, Crawford knew what his abilities were. Yeah. And man, I tell you what, when he got in there, started mixing it up, it was over quick.
It was over, and he didn't let him off the hook. Yeah. Teofimo Lopez, man, when they traded right hands, that power really showed. And now him and Lomachenko, that's very interesting.
You know, Lopez is I hope he doesn't lose that hunger. You can see he has such a hunger right now. Yeah. To be, you know, I mean, he's young, 22 years old?
Yeah.
And so he's got a long career ahead of him.
In transitioning to that married life.
Yes, in transition to married life. And so far, it doesn't seem like it's been bad for him. It seems like it's been good for him because he was hungry in the ring. And that punch he threw, I mean, it was just boom, instant. He was knocked out before he ever hit the ground. You know, his next fight, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll talk about it once it's signed, but Lomachenko just has those legs, and he just has a different type of will and tenacity and just...
Yeah. I think
God, when he was blessing people, somebody distracted Jesus, and he kept blessing them right here.
Oh, yeah, more foot speed and the foot language. Dude, the guy is just, like if you had to describe him to somebody who's never watched boxing, I'd be like, have you seen The Matrix?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, yeah. And I'd be
There you
like,
go.
that's Lomachenko.
Exactly.
He's Neo from The Matrix. The
Exactly.
guy hits you, and before you even think about punching him back and where you're going to punch, he's already figured out where you're going to decide, and he's already moved.
He's baiting you in.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, he fights at a different level. So I don't know that Lopez is ready for that, but we'll see. Because they may be fighting next. I don't know.
See.
Distance.
I wanted to ask you this. We've had UFC come to Fresno. We've had Bellator come to Fresno. And back in the day, who else did we have? Strikeforce come to Fresno.
War Gods.
Now, PBC has never come down here. Golden Boy has never come down here. Top Rank Boxing owns Fresno, this whole area in boxing. Why do you think that is so? Because of Jose Ramirez, Rick Meridian, Bob Arum? What's your take on that?
Well, I think, number one, I think all of those things. Number one, you got Jose Ramirez, who signed with Top Rank. Yeah. Rick Meridian solidified that deal. Great relationship with Bob Arum. And so Bob Arum knows that Fresno was a boxing town historically, and he believes in Rick. He trusts in Rick. And Jose has a following. There's some other guys that are, associated with Top Rank that are fighting here locally too. So they own Fresno in terms of that. Top Rank owns Fresno.
Yeah, that question came from Eric Hernandez, dog wear, my man. I love that dog wear, my man. And also, I want to give a shout out to my man here, Jason Hubbard. Easy work, my man. Easy work. So I wanted to give my man a shout out. He's one of those guys in the corner. He is in the corner of Blake the Beast McCurlin. And you hear him throughout the whole fight. Easy work. I mean, every 30 seconds. Easy work. So if he stopped, I think Blake would say, hey, keep going, because he's off his rhythm. You know what I mean? I mean, he's kind of like, every time he says that, he throws a combination, so to speak. The two work good together. Blake's from Sacramento, California. He's also going to make the trip down here to Fresno to come on the Fighter's Voice.
All right, good.
You'd be surprised how much that stuff can throw you off. Like
the timing, everything.
Hearing a guy say stuff, like taunt you. Like if you could hear that one voice, you start losing your cornerman. Yeah. If you start focusing on that. But you can see a guy when you can see when his brain clicks onto that noise and just kind of starts holding. Concentration now is broken. He's now thinking about that D-bag in the crowd going, oh, you got no hands, you got no hands. And then all of a sudden he's just like, you know what, F that guy, and comes at you. Yeah. Totally just no setup, no rhyme,
See, I
no
never
reason.
really thought about that. When he pays attention to that easy work, he's not listening to that dirtbag over there or that instigator or that
exactly.
That guy
There's
just
distractions.
pushes, but exactly.
So when you got your cornerman and he's just got that rhythm for you, he's saying it. Especially if it's like when you listen to music when you study. Yeah. If you've got not necessarily music, but what do they call like a metronome, a vocal metronome enough for your coach, where you hear him in practice all the time. Easy money, work that jab. Easy money. You start to hear that. You get more comfortable. When you get more comfortable, the sooner you get comfortable is the more advantage. Whoever gets comfortable first.
And you got to see my man. He'll come all suited and booted, and he'll wear a crown. When he walks in, he wears a crown. My man, he wears a crown. He's making it happen all the way in Sacktown.
Now, see, it all depends on how you do it. Cejudo puts on a crown, and he looks like friggin' king of Crazy Town. So
he is king of Crazy Town. Whatever he says, whatever comes out of his mouth, but the man can fight.
He can. I can't say he doesn't.
Speaking of that, did you catch any of UFC?
Just the prelims. I had to leave. I didn't get to catch the.
Let's talk about that main event in Kobe.
Man.
I mean, this guy just talks up a storm. But I get it. You talk up, he got the opportunity. A quiet mouth does not get fed, and he got his opportunity. But he came to fight, though. But
that quiet mouth ain't eating no food right now.
Heck no. Got wired his jaw.
Wired shut. Yeah, he got his jaw broke.
Was second round?
Near the end of the second round.
Yeah. So, right at the bell, right? Pretty close.
Right before the end of the bell. Ooh. Yeah, he just started breathing out of his mouth, and when you breathe out of your mouth, you're not biting down, you're not clenched, and he just took that hand and you moved his whole jaw. I think it probably cracked it here, and then from there, that jaw shot.
But he's still chirping.
But that's what I'm saying is
even on Instagram.
But bro, let's look at it from a dude standpoint. Okay. Like, bro. You got your jaw broke near the end of the second round, bro, and you still went on to it, then got knocked out in the end. But, bro,
that's a bad dude.
From that perspective,
you got to.
I don't care if you hate him or not. I go, that's still a bad dude. Like he knew his jaw was broken. He was telling his cornerman in between, I think, rounds 2 and 3 And then trying to tell them again, I think between 4 and 5, he was just like, hey, my jaw's broken.
So he went through the fight limited, but he still, used what he had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Faber throwing elbows against
Exactly.
Mike Brown the second time.
If you can go into it, let us know one of your stories that you were called into. You had to cover a beat or something, and you were limited. You go, there's no time to change this. I got to go with what I go with right now. Oh, have you ever had to face adversity and go in or just perform a duty or just say, you know what, okay, do I go back or do I save this life or do I make a difference?
Well, I think numerous times, not only in my career but an officer's career, you got to make split-second decisions. Sometimes you can't wait for a backup to go inside of a house. I'll give you one instance I remember very clearly. I'll never forget it. I was in the about the 400 block of North Effie, which is south of Belmont, east of Blackstone. And there was a party, loud party. Guys were outside. And so I pulled up, in my patrol car, and I hit what they call the alley light. It shines a light on the house, kind of, hey, keep the music down. Turned out to be not such a good move because some guy came out and cranked off a round at my patrol car. I fortunately hit a tree. And so, I wasn't thinking, but I wanted to catch this guy. So I took off running after him, went inside the house, large party, a lot of guys, a lot of people in there. And they locked the door behind me, and I was by myself. And so, as you can imagine, there's a bit of a scuffle going on, a fight inside. Folks knew where I was, where I went into, what the address was. I put it out on the radio. And I remember this guy that came, my first unit that filled in with me, a guy named Doug Stokes. And he was transferred in from LAPD. And he came in there. They tried to get in the door, couldn't get in. He knew I was inside with all these guys fighting. And so he took his baton and he broke out the entire window of the front of the residence. And then eventually...
Upstairs or downstairs?
Downstairs. And we got the backup that we needed. We ended up arresting people and so forth. But that's one of those things that, I thought I had to go in after the guy to catch him because he just shot at me.
Yeah.
But the reality is it would have probably been a lot smarter if I would have maybe drove down the street and waited for some units and then went in. But, when you're in the heat of the moment, you do what you got to do. And, ultimately we get the guy in custody.
So that was your broken jaw moment.
That was my broke. I wish I'd have kept my jaw, my teeth clenched at that time. But no, it turned out well.
Yeah, okay.
A blue flame
it turned
moment.
out well.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, man. Hey, man. I told you the guy's just a badass. He just went in there and boom. He had to make things happen, man. But at the same time, when he reflects now, see, the mature officer, the smart officer, the seasoned officer can use that lesson right there and teach his pupils as well as the rest of people on the staff.
Well, I think sometimes pride gets a hold of you, right? And that pride causes you to do things you normally wouldn't do.
Shit, pride got me here today. Look, I'm all cut up. I had these tubes. They took them out, and it's right here because I said the fighter's voice would not be denied. We're different from the rest. The cause is different from the rest. And to have this guest right here and turn my back on this guest, are you kidding me? Turn my back on the UFC veteran, Co Escovedo, are you kidding me? Only on the fighter's voice, Co, do we make it happen.
All day, every day, baby. Twice a week at least.
Yes, at least.
But there's the Cerrone incident on... he was on Joe Rogan, I think, one time. He was telling him the story of the scuba diving thing.
Yeah.
So when you get a chance, he tells this story about how he went scuba diving with one of his buddies.
Plug for Joe Rogan.
And yeah, sorry, Joe.
Cerrone does everything.
Yeah, Cerrone does everything.
He loves that excitement.
Yeah, but it's a story where they went. It's almost died kind of story. Like he was sure he was going to die kind of thing. So like I would say is that's when I try to compare moments in life like that. Like I can only imagine that you're hearing the click of the door was probably like one of the scariest things you've probably ever heard. I mean, knowing this because you instantly become aware of the scenario you've now put yourself in by making that rabbit run. You hear that click, and now you realize you're in a very crap moment.
Yeah, when you are in a life and death situation, or you're in a moment where you're not sure what the outcome's going to be. It causes you to reflect very quickly on what are those things in life that are important. Mm-hmm. But it also causes you to think, what am I going to do? What's plan B? And I think, in life we always want to have a plan B. We always teach our officers when we were out there, always have a contingency, always have a plan B, no matter what you're doing. But and in this case, my plan B was, fortunately, people knew where I was, my backup, they got there.
Plan B was initiated before you initiated
Yes.
Plan A. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the best way to go about it.
Cole, you're high on that. I was on a plan B. I always notice that when you
Have
talk
to.
to the fighters, because you say, you know what? You can't plan for a knee injury. You can't plan for a broken limb. So always have a plan B, and that's what you always tell your fighters.
Break your hand in a fight or something, you got to, now what you can do, you can either A, tell your coach, my hand's broken, I can't punch.
Yeah.
Cool, calling the doc, fight's over. Or, okay, jab him. Just jab him, southpaw him,
Yeah.
catch him with a right on a count or
Elbows,
something.
elbows,
Yeah,
elbows.
use a Faber did that, like I said,
Yeah,
with the
I
Matt Brown
remember
fight.
when Uriah broke his hand.
Both hands were broken. He just all of a sudden started throwing elbows, and for like the whole round, everybody's like, "What is he doing?"
Yeah.
And then like between rounds, you're like, "Am I hearing that? Oh, we're just now hearing that his hands are broken." It's like, dude, like that's how you just got to work with what you got.
Yeah, I remember him telling his corner, my hand's broke.
Yeah, you can hear him tell him like, "I think my hand, like both my hands, I think are broken." They're like, "No, no,
No more jabs.
yeah."
No, it's just getting close. Elbow time, kicks, whatever it took.
Hey, you
The
don't-
man
you
in
gotta
him.
He went
remember,
5
dude.
rounds, by the way, too.
Oh yeah.
In that fight.
Well,
And he broke his hand the first round.
yeah, broke his hand the first, broke his other hand, I think, in the late second, almost for a third, kind of like what happened with Colby's jaw. But
Yeah.
you got to remember, there was so much pressure on those guys back then when the WEC was making its transition from being absorbed, being like an entity that the UFC, Zuffa was kind of like, all right, are we going to invest in this organization? Are we going to make it big? What do we want to do? And then ultimately the decision was, well, we're just going to absorb them and we'll have lower weight classes. So there was a lot of pressure on countless conversations and speeches. I can imagine Reed Harris and Scott Adams were giving backstage to the guys like, guys, this is like
Health reasons
our
too,
shot.
man.
Not so much health reasons, but
Well, I'm talking
pressures
about
of like,
the extra classes they were given. They were opened
oh,
up
the
to-
extra
that's
weight
what I'm
classes.
talking-
Yeah,
that's what
health
I'm
like too.
talking
If you got a guy that shouldn't be at 55, he can come down to 45 and actually live healthy. You know what I mean?
Real quick, what was your take on all those fights with the weight cut?
Watching the weight cut,
Yeah.
when I first saw him do that interview with the hoodie on and everything,
Yeah.
he looked like Skeletor.
Yeah,
so I was like,
did.
he had a hard enough time making 45s. 35s was going to be a real stretch. But then I saw him on the scale, and he didn't look tiny. He still looked like a 145-pound fighter, but he was just caught. And I'm like,
Bruce Lee.
okay, they drained him. So I'm thinking we're going to get maybe a round and a half out of him
Yeah,
if he's
we'll
that
find out.
drained. But he looked healthy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he was in the fight.
And then he came in, and then the way he performed, that fight could have gone either way. And there would have been an easy argument for both cases. Someone would have said that Moraes got robbed. People are saying Aldo got robbed. I'm okay with either of the one of those guys winning
I
that
thought
fight.
Aldo pulled the fight out, but I was biased. I was pulling for Aldo.
So you got to have a little bias. I picked Moraes
Yeah.
to win that one because I think Moraes is a more natural
Yeah, you picked it.
35er.
Yeah.
So I definitely didn't pick Aldo to win that fight, but the way he looked in the fight, I think 35 might actually be somehow a healthier weight class. I don't know why. I don't know if he lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
And then, they're leaning him out or what, or they found some new way to cut his weight. I don't know, but he looked fine. So I don't think he should get a title shot.
Nah,
I don't
not
know.
just
I don't
yet.
know if them saying, "Oh, Henry Cejudo wants to fight him." Of course you want to fight him.
Yeah,
He's a big dog
Big
name at
name.
135.
exactly.
But no. He should have. But what do I know, dude? Every time I say someone shouldn't get a title fight, they're like, "Yeah, but it makes money. Sign it."
There it is, and it does happen.
So-
hey, one thing I do want to say, yesterday was Manny Pacquiao's birthday, so we want to thank the fighting senator, Manny Pacquiao. Happy birthday. Today is David Benavidez, a two-time super middleweight champion of the world. David Benavidez, today's his birthday. And also in news, Anthony Joshua reached out to Tyson Fury, who potentially, let me come into your training camp. Let me spar with you. Let me work with you to get you ready for Deontay Wilder. So Tyson Fury responded, says, hey, look, if you're serious, I would love to have you. Let's get together. Let's work together because I'm going to put a you-know-what down on Deontay Wilder. What's your whole take on two rivals, so to speak, campaigning for one another? It kind of goes together. Campaigning for one another to take on, I want to say, the King Kong, the Mike Tyson, the Megadon. This is guy, Deontay Wilder, who has one-punch knockout power that would just end it all and put you to sleep. So what's your take on two rivals coming together to help one fighter take on the beast?
We've always had guys in the past where you train with one guy at one point and then later a promoter wants you to fight and they're like, oh, no, we're not taking that fight because we've trained. And I always thought that was BS.
We're talking about a very small circle of I may fight you after you help me train this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I may fight you
like
next.
that circle's even, especially that high up the mountain, that
Yeah.
circle's real small. So I'd be more curious to find out who initiated it.
Well, accordingly, Anthony Joshua did that. Did you hear that in the news today?
No.
Yeah, it's in the news. It is correct. He went on Twitter and said, "Hey, look, I'll come down, Tyson Fury. If you want my services, I'll come down and help you get ready for your next fight."
I'd want to know his MO.
What's your take on that?
Well, I've seen it in the past when I'll go way
Okay.
back when Muhammad Ali fought right here in our own Mac Foster.
Okay.
They fought 15 rounds. They went toe to toe to the end. Mac Foster ended up losing in a decision.
Was he Muhammad Ali or Cassius Clay?
At that time was I don't know if it was Cassius Clay or Muhammad
Okay.
Ali, but it was. But anyway, he ends up winning, and it was Cassius.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marcellus Clay.
Yeah, and then but at the end of that, he wanted him to come to his paid him to come into training camp and train with him because he knew he needed that kind of training. But these guys, I don't know. This is different.
The only thing that I've ever seen is when Oscar De La Hoya fought Sugar Shane Mosley. They fought twice already. And then Oscar De La Hoya is getting ready to fight Pernell Whitaker. I'm sorry, not Pernell Whitaker, but Floyd Mayweather. Mosley came into De La Hoya's camp, which was close quarters, just to try to give him some work. So, it didn't work, but I thought De La Hoya did fight a good fight during that time. But that's the only time that I've ever seen it. But to do it when both men are in their prime and they know after I get done helping me, we're probably going to fight next.
Yeah.
that's
See,
because
that's
if he wins. You're talking about the we're talking about the guy who just beat Andy Reese, right? He got all three belts back. He's getting ready to fight Deontay Wilder, the Gypsy King, and the rematch for the WBC belt, which means if Tyson Fury wins, he's going to have that one bout compared to the three. They're going to fight to unify. That's kind of crazy. So do you let him in your camp? Is he really trying to help you, or is he trying to help himself?
And is he trying to learn your
Exactly.
secrets?
Is he trying to help himself?
I wouldn't. After my fight or after our fight, maybe I'd be like Clash. He says, "Hey, you need to come in because you're another good partner to have." After I could see, but before I'd be like, "Nah, dude, I'm good." That'd be like me.
Afterwards,
being
it's
cool to
different.
fight with a guy that we were both signed to the same organization.
Yeah.
And they said, "Hey, dude, I know they were talking about us fighting like maybe around April of next year, but I know you got a fight coming up this December. I was wondering maybe we could, I could help you get ready for it." I'd be like, "No, I'm good, bro.
I'm good.
Just the fact that we're signed by the same group,
We're in the same weight.
we're not training. Like we're not because I'm not. I mean, if we did and you wanted to fight, cool, I'd be down. But I'm not going to give you any advantage to know anything about what I'm good or not at. I go, you want to know, like playing poker. You want to see my cards? Pay.
Yeah.
Okay, you call? Cool, I got a full house. I'm not going to show you
I'd
my
be leery
cards
about
now.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
I just wanted
about
your
that.
take on that because I have my personal take on that. It's like, you're not coming near anywhere in my camp. If you want to root for me, buy a shirt and say, we're going to root for me. But I can't give away anything right now.
Yeah.
Life's too short, and are you really coming in to help me, or like I said, help yourself? Now, I want to go there. I want to change it up a bit. You're here, and we're looking at the future mayor of Fresno. Did you just wake up with that thought? Because we talked about you being, helping out Fresno as an officer. You've noticed some things that need some fixing. You noticed some things where there's a concern. You needed some things that needed to be addressed. When did you wake up and say, you know what, okay, this is my plan. This is what I want to do because I know I'm the best candidate for the job and I can truly make a difference because I have that impact on people.
Well, it wasn't something on my radar. It wasn't something
Okay.
that I had planned. Quite frankly, I'd planned on retiring. I had a mandatory retirement. I had to leave. I planned on retiring, traveling, spending time with family. And then I found out that the mayor was not going to run. And I said I wasn't going to run against the current mayor. When I found out he wasn't going to run, there are times when you feel what you believe to be a calling.
Yeah.
And that door of opportunity opens. God opens up a door for you, and you have a choice. You can either go through the door or you live with a lot of regrets.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't going to live with those regrets. I'm going through the door, and I'm confident. I've been called to do this.
That's right.
And so I'm willing to set aside whatever other plans I had because I think I have a lot to offer to this city. I tell folks in life, when you're young, you have a lot of energy and you have a lot of passion, but you really don't have the experience to help you use that passion, that energy in the right way. As you get older in life, you get a lot of experience, but sometimes if you wait too long, you lose your passion and your energy. It's like a boxer. Mm-hmm. They get in the ring, they got all this excitement when they're young, but they don't have the experience, and they end up losing. I'm at a time in my life where I still have a lot of energy, a lot of passion, and I got 40 years of experience, 18 as a police chief, so I can use that experience, combine it with the energy and the passion and the vision I have for Fresno, and to make a difference over the next 8 years. And so that's the plan. And come 8-9 years, I may not have that same level of passion, energy to do what I want to do, but right now I do, and I believe come March 3rd, when the election happens, I'll be the mayor of this city, or be elected to be the mayor, and I can't wait to get in office and do some of the things that need to be done. We have a city I believe is on the verge of being being great. We have an opportunity to become an entertainment hub for the Central California. We're primed, we're positioned in Central California to be a go-to city for a lot of corporations, a lot of businesses to come in, centrally located. And I just want to see that vision come to light. And so I look forward to it. I think, like I said, I don't see anything but a good, bright future for Fresno, and I want to be a part of that.
There it is there. Cole, that's the face of Fresno right there, my man.
It's definitely a how you say, soul type answer.
That's an opportunity.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's an opportunity. That's almost, if you don't take this opportunity, you're going to have to answer to God one day and said, son, I gave you your opportunity. I gave you your heart's desire. Enough said. I knew you would take it before you even thought it, because I put it in you. And it's right there. Especially when it lines up with the word, it's a wrap.
Yeah, you don't want to miss your calling.
No, you don't.
Because you may not get that calling again.
Yeah, that goes same thing with fighting.
Yeah.
Sean Shelby or Joe calls you up, or Joe Silva calls you up and says, hey, there's a fight in 2 weeks. We need a replacement guy. It's in SAC. You're at Fresno. Do you want it? Like, you could say no. Yeah. You're probably not going to get that phone call for a while again, unless you just do really phenomenal.
That's right.
So it's like you say, yeah. How do you say no? It's so you have to take, sometimes the phone just rings.
And sometimes it requires a sacrifice to take that fight. Maybe you're not in the best shape of your life, but you get in the ring and you give it your best, and who knows what the outcome is.
Yeah.
You may win, may be the opportunity of a lifetime. Same way with me as a mayor. I know it's going to take some sacrifice, time away from family. You got to sacrifice your reputation in an election because it gets nasty. But at the end of the day, it's all worth it, because at the end of it, you're going to be serving a God that's called you to where you need to be.
Exactly. Amen to that. And that takes place in March. The winner is announced?
March 3rd is the election.
Coach, see, like when he announces, we're going to go there and we're going to announce him like a fighter. We are. We'll say, ladies and gentlemen, from Fresno, California, 2020, the mayor of Fresno, the one, the only, a.k.a. the chief, Mr. Jerry Dyer. Boom, and we're going to knock that out.
That would be an acceptance party.
I like it.
That's how you do it,
man. Only in Fresno.
You'll start
only
a thing,
on the
dude.
fighter's voice.
Every time somebody starts having like election parties, all of a sudden your phone's gonna ring. They'll be like, "Hey,
let's do it."
Just in case, how much to put you on retained or to have you like at the party?" And then my boy's gonna tell you when he flips his phone open, "We did it." You get it rolling,
okay,
you
know. Let's go.
That's not a bad idea. You could have started like a new industry.
The next buffer.
We are.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, you might have started like the next buffer thing, dude.
Only hungrier.
No, man. My bro, what was it? My son was asking me about that the other day because he was like, "Let's get ready." Like he just randomly said it, and I was like, that like in the entertainment industry, you can't say that. And he goes, "Why is it?" And I go, "Because he trademarked it." He goes, "Man, that's a really good one. Like everybody should be able to say it." I'm like, "That's why he trademarked it." Because
exactly, very smart.
I go, "Yeah," and I go, "He's got a brother," and they were like, he didn't know they were brothers.
Yeah.
Like I was like, Michael Brother, Bruce Buffer, he knows the UFC fights and stuff. He's like, so that's Bruce. I go, there's a guy that looks just like him that does boxing. And I say, yeah, that's his brother. And he goes, shut up. And I was like, yeah, ding dong. I go, that's
what happens, man.
That's what happens when you have the same parents.
Can't use the word rumble.
Yeah, you can't. What was it saying? Let's get ready.
Yeah.
Like, and I've heard him take some dudes to court over that.
Actually, there was a guy doing a weigh-in, and I went to go cover fights in Oregon. It was my first TV event with LA TV, and one of the guys said it. And I went up to him and I said, "Look, it's none of my business. I'm not hating, but you can't say that word."
Yeah,
I just left it alone. But he said it twice at the weigh-in. At the weigh-ins, I'm going, "What's this guy doing?"
Is nobody going to tap him on the shoulder?
Dude, don't embarrass yourself. Don't do that. Serious. And I just kind of pulled him aside. I said, "Bro, you don't want to say that. You don't."
Yeah.
Well, why not? Okay, so I left it alone.
You've clearly been in the industry very long. Yeah. Good luck, sir. I wish you the best.
No, he said it twice.
Man.
Actually, but it's all good, man.
Sometimes
you run into some things.
Sometimes you got to let a rookie do something stupid.
Sometimes you do.
I have done.
I was going to say, yeah,
as a rookie,
plenty of those, man. I still continue to learn. I'm a rookie at a few things. I'm a rookie still at cooking, man. So,
I can't wait to hear Solario's rookie moments. Like one day I just want to sit down and have a beer with him and be like, dude, tell me some of your rookie moments, bro. We got a friend that fights Evan Solario. He's with PD now. He fights. And I just because I've known him for so long and I know his personality, I'm like, just, bro, I want to hear some of those just, you were probably so red and just blushing because he just got so embarrassed because he's such a nice guy. Yeah. But he's just, dude's a beast, but he could be such a nice, just human being that I know there's moments where he was just like,
that dude loves his job, man. He's always posting another good day at work, enjoys his job, and he gets up early, does all his things he needs to do.
He's found his
shares
calling
time
for
with his
life.
daughter. Yeah, no, he loves it.
He's
that's
definitely
right
found his calling.
That's a good job for Evan, and he's a good kid. I've known Evan since he was a youngster.
Oh,
and seeing him grow up and then now become part of the department is pretty good, pretty cool.
Yeah, very very competitive too. I still think he has some fight left in him, but
for sure, you'll definitely see him.
He's in shape. He's still working out with Brian Williams.
Yeah,
he's still working out
Batman.
in the Batcave.
No, you definitely see Evan still competing. Like, provided he can without, like, I don't want to risk getting hurt or something. It's like, dude, you got a career to think about. But, dude, the second day off from him, he'd be like, when's the next badge? Like, he wants to bring home some medal.
He'll fight.
Yeah, he does.
He'll end up fighting in the World Summer Games. They have the World Police Fire Games. He'll be fighting in that.
Yeah, it'd be a waste of him not to. Like, he's so athletically gifted to be like, dude, bro.
Yeah, don't let it go to waste. KP, did you ever find that one picture?
Yes, I did. Okay,
let's
see
post
this
that
pic.
right now because that's
my God,
that's the guy who went through the freaking house. That's the guy who called.
Dude.
That's the one who called it in, Cole, and went through the house.
God, you know what?
When you're that
That's
big,
a big
bro,
dude.
when you're that big, you go through doors.
You do.
Because,
that was the ice bucket challenge, man.
Man.
Somebody dared me to do that, and I went ahead
Even
and
the water was afraid to land on you. He said, I'm good.
You see on top,
I'm good.
there were SWAT guys on top.
I was going to say, you can see the
that were
gear
pouring
in the
the ice
back.
on me.
They had his back. They made
That
sure.
was the ASL ice bucket challenge that was going around for a while. Yeah, man. That stuff was cold. But
all he needed right there was like a chopper or something. Just like boom.
Put some boxing gloves on him, dude. You got yourself a heavyweight.
There you go. That's some backyard brawling right there.
Yeah. There's some photos I wish would go away. That's one of them.
So you think he's big, right? Remember Brad?
Oh, yeah, Alcorn? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Brad
that dude is a wall. Like,
Hey,
he's walked me out to fights before. I have walked out. You don't even know I'm there.
Yeah.
Until, like, the camera pans to the side, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's the fighter.
Yeah.
Dude's a wall.
No, the dude is a monster. I had the opportunity to meet him, I say, about maybe 10 years ago. We had Jennifer Alcorn. She came to the school and she talked to the kids.
We were talking about
She brought both of
boxers.
her bouts, and then she came to our house for lunch. And I remember Brad was there. She's getting ready to fight Mia St. John. And Brad was there. He said, hey, Richard, can you say something in Spanish for me? Because all the Mexicanos, they were yelling for Mia, something for Jennifer Alcorn. So all I yelled out was "Viva Jennifer," something to that effect. And he goes, "All right, dude, whatever you want, I got you." He's a big dude, big old Popeye arms and stuff. It was just good to have that dude on your side.
Brad and I worked out together at a gym before he was even. I think Brad was like 19 or 20, and so we worked out together. He was a monster then. And I, at that time, encouraged Brad to get into the police department, and that's when he started at Fresno PD. And I tell you what, he's a tough guy, and not as tough as Jennifer, but he's tough.
Oh yeah.
And you know what's funny is he'd probably be like,
"Oh no, I know who runs that house."
Hey, bro, she'll throw down, man.
Yeah, no,
and she did. She retired undefeated.
Yeah. She's both of them very clear with what they wanted from life and how to get it. So.
And I know she said after boxing she wanted to get into women's bodybuilding. So and then some fitness afterwards. I don't know exactly what she pursued.
She was doing a boot camp.
That's right. She was doing a boot camp.
Yeah, no, she's tough, and they're good people though. Brad and Jennifer are both good people. I think they moved. They moved to Oregon or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
I haven't spoken to Jennifer in years. I kept in contact with her, but it's been
living
really,
the quiet
really
wolf
years.
life now. What she's doing basically.
Yeah.
On quiet wolf.
Well, she wanted that fight. She wanted to beat Mia St. John, and she did in Fresno, California.
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
undercard of Floyd Mayweather.
I was there.
Yeah.
Watched it.
Yeah. And that fight wasn't even televised because females boxing, they wouldn't give it the respect or the attention that it needed.
Wasn't as
then.
hot.
And it was a good fight. Very good fight.
Yeah. And that's why there were so many fights back then that just went unnoticed. Like, you'll ask boxing guys about them, they'll be like, oh, I didn't even know that fight happened.
It didn't
How?
happen. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that didn't happen. But one thing I want to make sure does happen, there's a Fighter's Voice t-shirt for you, extra large, and there's also a thumbs up for Richie, who is my inspiration, is why the Fighter's Voice is created. And there's an extra large there for you.
I like it.
There you are.
I appreciate it,
Also
Richard.
this one
Might
right
be a
here.
little tight, extra large. I know. It might be a little tight.
Shoot,
Don't flex
know,
too
man.
hard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, brother.
yeah, you got it, man. And rock it when you're in the gym or wherever, man.
will.
Sport
I'm
that
definitely
thing.
gonna do
Proud,
it.
man.
Appreciate it.
Definitely gonna wear
Proud. So how do we follow you? How do we register to vote? How do we get your vote?
So
How can we vote for you?
So my website, really simple, jerrydyer.org. People can go on there to get if they want a yard sign, they want to make a donation, they want to sign up as a volunteer. The election's March 3rd. It's important to register to vote. I believe everybody should have opportunity to vote and to have their voice heard, right? We got the fighter's voice.
That's right.
I want to have the voice out there for people to vote and support who you want. But elections are a little bit different this year. Everybody's going to get, once you register, everybody will have a ballot mailed to them, and then it's their responsibility to get it turned back in.
There you are.
March 3rd.
That's going to be an interesting system.
It
It's
is.
going to be
It's brand
different.
new.
That's going to be very interesting to see how that works out.
I hope it works out.
Well, if
in
you
my
don't come
favor.
to us, we'll come to you.
Yeah, right.
Right? I mean, you got Uber dropping off tacos and stuff and tamales and food. So why not? Hey, let's do.
You know-
let's make this a priority.
You know what you could do? That'd be cool. If you're really looking to elevate your numbers of how many we send out versus how many we actually get back in, some type of Uber system. Here's a list. You were on the
That'd be
list.
great,
We'll
too.
come pick it up for you.
Yeah, they have ballot harvesting.
Wow.
It's legal
Yeah,
now. First
okay.
time.
There you go.
People can go out, go to the door and pick it up. But you know what? They provide you a mail-in stamp. Just mail it in.
Yeah.
There is there.
Like, it doesn't get any simpler than that. Like, I mean, I'm not a huge understanding of the infrastructure of how it comes to all the systems, but you're making it pretty, like, simple.
Pretty simple.
As simple as possible. You don't even have to leave your house, which is kind of the demographic that's been built out of the technology age and stuff. So
That's
why
right.
not use it? It's there. Utilize it.
Yeah, and besides, I'm going to say, hey, what are you doing next to this? I'm going to stop by the mayor's house, Cole. Cole, let's go by the mayor's house. It'll be, it'll be about April.
Hey,
yeah, we're
you're
going to the
always
mayor's
welcome.
house.
You're always welcome
We are.
in my office and in my house.
There
Both
you
of
are.
you guys.
There you are.
All right.
And
Well,
we're
we
gonna make it
appreciate you
happen.
taking time out of
Yes,
your day.
sir.
We know you're super busy and stuff, but thanks for coming on, giving us some insights, some stories. It's been fun. We managed to get some fun stories out of you. I always like it. Appreciate it.
I
Jay.
want to
Cole.
make sure we balance it.
Rich, hey,
and
thank
appreciate
you.
the compliments too, man. I mean, leading up to the show, and I was saying, Cole, this guy digs us, man.
No, I watched the show. I told Rich, I said, "You're the real deal, man. You got a bright future, but you somehow, some way, this thing's got to get out there more."
Rick Marie in, give us a call, like I said.
Knowledge
Okay?
is
Give us a
power.
call.
Knowledge is power.
Come on, Rick.
Exactly. Hey, I want to thank all the viewers, the fans, and supporters that watch The Fighter's Voice. Remember, subscribe, www.youtube.com/The Fighter's Voice. That's www.youtube.com/The Fighter's Voice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. It's a wrap. Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
Never down for the count. It's just another wrap. Thanks for listening to the Fighter's Voice Radio Show. Catch us again next week.
Same when, same how.
And always stay connected to the Fighter's Voice on social media. So, on behalf of special guests and the whole crew right here at the Fighter's Voice Radio Show, saying see ya next week, right here on the Fighter's Voice.